What is good, guys? It is Sam here, and today I wanted to talk to you about a couple things, my Airbnb earnings, as well as why I am excited about Airbnb IPO, whenever that might be. So, if you'd like to watch all that, then stay tuned. For those of you who are here for the first time, what is good? My name is Sam, and for those of you who are returning, it is good to freaking see you. You had better be pressing that thumbs up button. Now let's get into it. So this is a property that I have in Florida. It is a two family, but down there they call them efficiencies instead of studios, I feel like. So this is in Clearwater. And I have, um, let's see, you can see there's $10,000 expected so far, or bookings total, but 9,000 has been paid out so far this year. Um, yeah, it works. It's super nice having an Airbnb and like doubling your monthly gross relative to renting it out long term. Like it's good. I like it. Okay, so and this is like a 400 and 50 square foot little tiny studio. Um, the house is not that expensive. It was 100 and something thousand, like low hundreds, 122,000 I think it was. So this is not like an expensive property. Like right there covers like all the mortgage expense on the property and more. You know what I mean? So um, it's good from a host standpoint, and then it's also good for the individuals using the platform. So I also travel a lot, or a lot relative to how I used to travel. So I don't know if there's plenty of other people who probably travel way more than I do, but anyways, several trips per year, like internationally, and I tend to use Airbnb a lot more. My girlfriend and I will use Airbnb probably 6 to 1, meaning like we'll use Airbnb 6 times more than we will get a hotel room, or like one out of every six stays will be in a hotel, like something like that. And so we use Airbnb from that travel side, and to be able to see a country from the perspective of somebody who actually lives in the country in an authentic way. And you don't have to get an Airbnb in the same fucking house as somebody else. You can just rent out an apartment, like we do it all the time. Um, but you can also rent a room in somebody's house, and I've done that many times. So it's depending on the experience that you want to have. But you get a much more authentic experience of like what the city is like, or the area that you're going to. And I think that actually is not really being recognized in the market. So that is one of the reasons why I think that they are. There's a tremendous opportunity to grow here, because the appetite for a different type of experience, given the ability for people to share a lot more of their lives, because people are sharing more of their lives on social media and whatnot, it almost creates a behavior that people do things in a way, and myself included, to potentially experience life in a different way, because I'm trying to create content or to create experiences so that I can tell the world about them. So it almost pushes me to achieve or like do more things than otherwise would. And because of that, people are actually traveling more, right? And people want to experience things that they haven't experienced before, from the standpoint of, instead of just staying always in a hotel, like you've had that experience many times, more than likely. Why not try something different, where you get a price that on average, from my experience, is generally like 20 to 40 ish, 20 to 50-ish% cheaper than a hotel, right? So you're saving money. And then you also get to have this other tremendous value on top of that experience the authenticity of the area you're trying to get to. Obviously, this is from a traveling perspective. If you're doing this for business, maybe actually it's even better, because then there's only hotels put in certain geographic areas where there might not be a hotel close to where you need to get to business wise if you're traveling, and an Airbnb is a much more effective way of doing that. But there's all this extra value that's just captured. It's so undervalued, right? Like the amount people could charge for those rooms, I think is just way undervalued because it's providing so much value to the marketplace right now, and it's inexpensive for all parties involved. Because on this $11,000 that I'm making this year so far, then this is going to go up as more bookings come in if I would continue doing this, but um, the amount that I pay is only 3%, right? So Airbnb charges hosts 3% fee that covers the processing payments, blah, blah. So when you think about Airbnb relative to VRBO right here, it's a home away company, and they charge $350 to advertise their property, and then they don't charge a commission. But think of the difference there. Think of how many people are going to pay upfront versus how many people are, or the type of person that is going to pay upfront versus if you do it for free and then just take a percentage of the sale. Like there's a giant difference in the population that would be interested, right? There's a many people who will do it, but over here where you have to pay something up front, there's a very few. The pool is much smaller, so I wouldn't even compare them as like a competitor. But if you think about it from the standpoint of let's take eBay. So I used to have several eBay stores, and eBay is very costly to do business on. Um, there's fees upon fees that pay fees, and then you got to pay more fees on top of that. And I've never gone through the calculation, but I I feel like I did halfway through it one time, and it was well above 10%. 16 is like the number that's coming to my mind, but I don't remember off the top of my head. And that is like 16%. Went towards fees. So if you think about it, right, 16% on eBay versus 3%, and then you're also potentially likely to have a much higher selling price on Airbnb as well. So you have a higher selling price and you have lower fees. So you have two good things right there relative to there. And then I would bet that I've also sold on Etsy a little bit, and the fees on there are higher. I've checked out Airbnb, Amazon, and I believe the fees are higher in there, but I haven't dug into it, and I have not used Amazon, so don't take my word for it because I haven't actually used it before. Just when I was thinking about starting Amazon, I started to dig into that, and that's what I came across. But I didn't try it to know for sure, or really try to understand it. And then when you think about like how much value they're bringing to the marketplace from, right, we have the hosts and the travelers, right, there's so much value that each party is getting, that there's a momentum that's built up in silence that nobody's really paying attention to, I feel like. And the possibilities for Airbnb to start making a travel experience. Think of how Uber has Uber helipads, where in New York City you can get a Uber from where you are. Right, well, a car will come pick you up, drive you to a helipad. The helipad will take you to the other spot where you're going. Another Uber will pick you up from the helipad and take you somewhere else. Right? Think about that experience. Right, through one app, you can just boom do that whole experience. Right, from the car to the helipad to the other side, then picked up and then brought to your destination. Now think about that, but from Airbnb's standpoint, because you have these pockets of time when people are going to be traveling, whether it be for business or pleasure, and they're going to be in a spot for, say, a week or 2 weeks. So being able to offer the opportunity for other people who are on vacation, like what they're doing with this experiences, this is going to open up a whole new world, a platform in itself. It could expand to be this platform that people go to for this travel and leisure experience, because that is where there's so much value right now, as we see. And this hasn't even got into these other lines of business where you can add on more and more, and it's so incredibly scalable, because if people are coming on here during when they travel, you can do personal chauffeurs, you can have all this other crazy very, very customizable, like very super customizable experiences, because one person can go to, say, a country or city and have, through the same app, have one experience where they can go to, you know, a $6,000 room per night and have like a chef come in there, right? This could all be through this app, and have a chef come in there and cook for him and his wife, and then like have somebody playing music at the same time, and like this could all be created through the app, versus somebody else could use the same exact app to go get something for $34 a night, and you know what I mean, and have like Chinese food delivered, right? You know what I mean? Like this is, and then have like beer delivered or whatever. You know, this is all incredibly possible to do through an app like this. And the possibilities, I feel like, are so undervalued, even though I feel like they are. The private equity industry as a whole is maybe like overvalued slightly. I think that Airbnb in that universe is undervalued. I'd love to know what your thoughts are down below in the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe to see future videos like this. Peace.